Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Oliver Riera, and this is Lashonda
Modest.
No,
Oh, no, you did not.
Modest.
Modest.
Let me take that again for you. Hold on. I thought I heard you say that, and I was like, oh, I guess it's molest
No,
now.
it's a lot of people that like to put emphasis on it's modest.
Yeah.
But then they're like modest, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
so
French.
I said modest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anywho.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Oliver Riera, and this is Lashonda Modest.
Yes.
You're so modest.
Oh, I am. But if I say I am, does that still mean that I'm modest?
No.
Oh, darn it.
Why don't you tell everyone what you do?
Hi, I'm Lashonda Modest, the owner of Melanated Wine and Spirits. We're an urban winery located in Durham, North Carolina.
Very cool. I love your wine.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Which one do you like?
I all of them?
All of them? I love that.
Honestly, that's an honest opinion right there.
But you know what? I promise, and I'm not just saying this, I get that more often than not. They all are good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them all. So it just depends on which one you choose for that day. But
Yeah. It's because I'm not a big alcohol kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, you're just the wine that goes down really smooth.
it's all clean. That's why
Yeah?
it's clean.
Oh, okay.
Like fruit and with natural fruit juices, no artificial sweeteners. So you're not getting any of that back taste or any of that heavy crap that everybody else throws into their
Yeah.
their
Why did
wine.
they throw all that crap?
Because it's going to sit on the shelf for so long and, they're mass producing.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away from some of that. We're a boutique style, so we're not producing as much as, some of these other big wineries. So we don't have to do a ton of stuff. Our stuff isn't sitting on a shelf in some store for months at a time or whatever. So
Okay.
we don't have to do all that.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Just pulling the mic just a little bit closer to you. There you go. So let's start from the top. Where are you from?
Originally from Illinois, Rockford, Illinois. It's about an hour west of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it growing up there?
Yeah, it was interesting. No, I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but I do remember.
Wait, why?
You know how when you go through things like traumatic things and you try to put some stuff, or you, even without trying, right? You just try to move on and be great and do things, and you put stuff in the back of your head, and it also, you don't only remove bad memories, but you also remove good memories, right? Okay. So a lot of trying to just put stuff away went good memories too, but I do remember having a good childhood as far as
Did that hold on, let me ask you this. Because did that bite you in the ass later on in life?
Absolutely.
Forgetting all that?
What? Yeah, definitely. We will, in so many ways, right? In many ways where I could be, just having maybe a conversation with a family member and they'll bring something up and I'm like, what are you talking about? Right. Or just learning how to deal with certain things, it definitely has its still pros, but cons definitely.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Was it with the parent vibes?
So I didn't have a father growing up, but my grandparents were heavy in my life. So I was raised by my grandparents. So my grandmother, my grandfather. So that was stability for me, right? My grandfather passed in 99, so I was still in the house, and after that, my mom was always in my life. So although my grandparents raised me, she was always in my life. She just, I lived with her on and off throughout my childhood. She just struggled, with addiction and, all of that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, she was a great mom. As much as she could be struggling with what she was struggling with. You
could tell her mom vibe was still kind of there, right?
She made me feel like the most beautiful thing in the world.
Oh, nice.
The love that she poured out for me was crazy. So I felt all the love. Did
that make it harder when she wasn't there?
didn't make it harder when she wasn't there. It made it harder when she was faced with the decision of addiction versus, and addiction is real.
Right.
So it's
But did you understand that at the time?
I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't at the time. Now I do. And I did maybe about 12 or 13 because my aunt also, struggled. And I was pretty much like raised, this is crazy, and like going to NA meetings and like all these conventions. Yeah, that was a part of my childhood, and it was fun. It was fun for me. It's crazy because we would try. We were like, whenever there was a convention, we would like travel to some new place, and one of my aunt's friends' daughter was the same age as me, and we were best friends. So we would always be in hotels, swimming at these conventions, and it was fun.
Gotcha. So you never were actually in the meetings?
I was in the meetings as well.
In the meetings as well?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you actually listen in and stuff?
Yes. Yes. Closed out, opened up, all that.
How old were you?
12, around
12, 13?
12, not even 13, about between 11, 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right.
It was early.
So you got like some psychology lessons in there.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Yeah.
I feel like that could either like break you or make you.
Yeah. And I feel like it made me, and it allowed me to open up my heart and understand that addiction was real. And even at that age, if I didn't understand it, I knew that what those people were going through at that table was real. And it wasn't just like this is what I want to do. It was a lot of people I would hear did not want to do what they were doing, but the addiction was just so real for them. And that was like, So it helped me later to understand what my mom was going through, right? Yeah. And why, as much as she wanted to be there for me, and it was a choice, it still was an addiction, and how real and strong addiction is, and all that. So yeah, it opened up.
I feel like do you feel like now families should participate in AA meetings with them as well?
The support, I absolutely believe that. The support that the person that's addicted would feel, knowing that, hey, this is real for me, because so many people think that it's not, or just kind of take it light, and it's not anything to take lightly. So I think the more that they have that support of their other family members to say, hey, I'll go to a meeting with you today, right?
Yeah.
Or I'll meet with your sponsor and, get an update, or just check in and see how you're doing. Did you go to a meeting? Or, hey, celebrate them when they have those milestones, right? 1 week clean, 1 month clean, 1 year clean. Like, that's huge.
Right.
Today, my aunt has over 30, is it maybe 30? Maybe 30 years clean.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember how old I am.
Yeah, it seems like a group setting for families to come to a group setting. That way they're not like tracked on to just that family, certain family members.
Absolutely.
Right? So they hear other stories.
They hear other stories. Yes. Yeah. So. That's a piece I haven't talked about with anyone, Oliver.
Oh. Ooh. Get that mic close to you, though.
Okay. I'll stop shying away from it. Hello.
Hey. That's interesting. So you feel like you had to grow up fast? Well, you had your grandparents, right? So
yeah, I had my grandparents.
We're still kind of like a kid.
Yeah, I had my childhood.
But that was a different generation, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like I had to grow up quick. I don't. I had my childhood. I was the youngest. I grew up around all boys. Oh. I had girl cousins, but they were older, right? All the boys.
Boys as your siblings?
My siblings and my cousins. So we were all sort of like raised by my grandparents. Oh. Yeah. Because my aunt and, whatever. So a couple of the aunts and uncles were struggling, right?
Sure.
So my grandparents kind of took in quite a few of us, right? So I had 2 siblings, and then I had a couple cousins, and like it's so many of us. We have a huge family, so it was quite a few of us, with my grandparents. But my grandparents also raised 12 kids, so they were used to, taking care of quite a few people. But yeah, I was the youngest of all the cousins and the only girl in the household. So growing up fast, not really, but
That's a lot of
Growing
people.
up tough, definitely.
Yeah, especially with the boys around
yeah.
and stuff like
yeah,
that, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Scooch in just my way, just a little bit. There you go, right there. So if there,
What?
I mean, that's a lot of people in the household.
It is. It is. But it was fun.
Yeah?
It was, I mean, it was, I don't know. It was normal to me, right? It was
That's true.
normal. So I didn't know any different, right? And even to this day, I have so many cousins. And so, you know, I don't know any different. I feel like if you don't have a lot of cousins, I'm like, oh, like I feel, so, you know, it's like, oh man, like what do you do?
Right,
you
right,
know?
yeah.
Because I have such a huge family. But
Yeah, I just have my immediate family here.
Just your immediate,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Everyone else is in Venezuela or like some other country.
So you didn't grow up with them?
No.
Oh, wow.
No. So like I go to people's houses and they talk to the uncles and grandmas and stuff like that,
Yeah.
cousins, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
especially like the family dynamics, how open they are
Absolutely.
to having conversations back and forth. I'm like, oh, I never really had
Yeah.
that.
Like my cousins are like my sisters and brothers, you know, treated just the, you know, like I went into town for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
My family was offended at the thought. I did not mention that I was staying at a hotel. Someone somehow said something about a hotel and they were offended. Like, you will not ever stay at a hotel. It's so many of us and we all have at least a room for you and your family to stay in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how tight knit my family, my cousins, my aunt, like how, you know, we're all like.
Was it a big house?
No.
It was just like everyone's packed in there.
Yeah. I would sleep on the floor all the time. That was my favorite spot.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. What? It wasn't until I was a teenager, almost graduated high school before they like cut off half of their living room and built like a bedroom. And I then had a bedroom, but then I ended up moving out at 17 and getting my own house not house, apartment.
That's
but,
damn, man.
I know, right? Huh? Yeah, no. But yeah, anywho.
Okay. Very cool. So everything's good through high school, pretty much, you know, everyone got along and all that stuff. And then you graduated. And then what was the next step for you?
Yeah. Ooh, graduate. Yeah. I mean, so was everything okay through high school? Yeah, nay. I mean, it
yes,
was
no,
what it was.
So.
Yeah. For Rockford, where I was, there wasn't much of an expectation to do anything outside of like, you know.
Small town?
It was small. Yeah, about 200,000 people at the time. But now it has gone down tremendously. I think we're only at like 100. It went down bad. But there wasn't like a huge push for like education or, you know, going to college or like doing any of that, right? It was about working and getting a job. We had a Chrysler there. So I started working, of course, at like 16, moved out at 17, had my own place at 17, was working at Chrysler by, I think, 19.
Did you have to have your grandparents' permission on that since you were 17?
No.
Okay.
No. At 17 in Illinois, you're considered an adult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So by 19, working at Chrysler, making really good money, and I thought I had it made. I thought I knew it all by then.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Were you just gonna like climb the ladder? Pretty much?
Well, that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody I had known had worked at Chrysler for many years, retired from there, and was set, right? So for me, that was.
So at this point, you like never really ventured off into anywhere.
Nope.
And no thought of that.
Okay. Yeah. That was it.
What was the turning point there after that?
The turning point was meeting my husband.
Oh.
Yeah, it was meeting my husband, and so actually two things. Chrysler had like I saw that they were like laying people off, right? And then I was like, hold on, I could be one of those people.
Yeah.
So then going back to school at 19. Yeah, so I went back to school at 19, and then
Doing what?
HR, so business management with the minor in HR.
Gotcha.
So I went back to school, and then I met Seneca.
At school?
No.
Okay.
No, outside at church.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was raised a church girl, been a church girl, choir girl, like all that. So,
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you go into HR?
So I knew my family always had a business.
Okay.
We have a restaurant, and it's been in the family oh my God, 30 plus years, right? So I've always seen that. And I knew, although I was working for someone, that I also wanted to have my own. So that entrepreneurial spirit was just in me. So going into business and then like the HR side, you know, it's like, okay, I feel like this is something that I should do without really giving it much thought.
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted to go into business, and then I just minored HR to kind of like, you know, get that experience.
Into business to have your own business?
Yes.
Okay. So you already knew that.
Yeah.
By then. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's good to see that kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's because they did it, right? So I knew that it was possible. So many people don't even know that it's possible because they don't see that. That's not an example for them. So
That's pretty mature of you to go into HR at that age
I didn't
with
know
that
what I was
expectation, though.
Yeah, but you know, it was just like, this is what you should do, and not necessarily like a real thought to it. It was just more so like, yeah, that businesses have HR, need HR. So this is what you know.
Okay.
So that's really where it was fueled from.
I'm sure you learned some things about business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where you met Seneca no, not church, at church.
At church. I met Seneca at church. Yeah.
And then, wow, so you guys have been together for a long time, right?
Long time.
It's like more than,
So, well,
how many years?
well, no.
I'm testing you. How many years?
15, 16. Right? I think
Might have to report you on that.
Right. We've been together since we got together in 2008.
Okay.
So do the math.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been married, I think 15.
I'm not gonna do the math, but yeah, a long time.
So we got together in 2008.
Sure.
We got married in 2009. Like we got engaged within 6 months.
Damn.
And then we got married a year from the time that we, you know, pretty much met. And
that was fast.
it was fast, but you know, when you know, you know.
Hey.
Right? Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So yeah, and here we are 15 years later, married.
Wow,
So yeah,
with
2
kids.
wonderful kids.
Your kids are beautiful, by the
Oh,
way.
thank you.
They could be like child models.
Oh my God. They are gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know. The youngest one is a firecracker. The oldest one is like such an angel now.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but yeah.
He has his moments, I'm sure.
Yeah. She
Oh, she.
yeah, two girls.
Oh, 2 girls.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Seneca's a girl
Because
dad.
I only saw them from a distance.
Oh
from the
yeah,
car.
yeah. In the back. Yeah. Seneca's a girl dad. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
2 girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So you met Seneca, you got married a year later. Did you complete high school? I mean, college?
No, didn't complete college. So what we ended up doing was, so Seneca and I got married. We ended up buying a house. We then got pregnant. Well, we didn't get pregnant until 2010.
Okay.
So we got together in 2008, married in 2009, pregnant in 2010. So then from then on, I was still working at Chrysler. Well, at this point, I had moved on from Chrysler, but was still working for like sort of for Chrysler, but like for the railroad, right? Union Pacific, where
And
at
dropped
this
college?
point, no, I was still doing college this whole
gotcha.
time. Yeah. So I was doing part-time this whole time. So I ended up, I was working for the railroad at that point, which was still a part of Chrysler because we were shipping all the cars that came off the production to like all over. So school was still a part of it, still trying to do that, still trying to be a mom, be a wife, do all that. And I was young. I was only 22, Oliver, when I got married.
Wow. So you've been busy since you were 22.
Yes. It was like on,
Yeah.
you know? And then on top of all of that, opened up a business. In 2012, we opened up a business and we had, so my nickname, Seneca calls me Sweet Pea. So I opened up a business called Sweet Pea's Accessories, where it was all sorts of like jewelry and, you know, stuff like that. So we were running that. I mean, it was a lot.
That's wild. How do you manage all that?
Still
I mean,
work.
it's kind of just like you either do or you don't.
And that's it. Like,
You have no choice kind of thing.
yeah, like failure wasn't an option. This is something I wanted to do, so why not do it, right? So
Did you see that hustle from the restaurant that your family
yeah,
owned?
absolutely.
Okay.
My
probably got it from
grandfather, even my mom, like, you know, everybody I knew like worked really hard, and you know, like failure wasn't an option. Like we had to make it, so you just did what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I had to work, but I also knew that I had to fulfill this passion of being an entrepreneur. So
Yeah, I think that's important. People like they forget about that part of themselves and they go all in on the kids, which is great, but you have to put yourself too.
yeah. And I think having one, having one and having the support of my family, it was easier to do that. My mom always came and got my child, right?
Nice.
And like she wanted to be a part of that child's life as much as, you know, I did as her mom.
Yeah.
So it made it easier. Moving away shortly after coming here, not having that support, it became really, really hard. And then now having melanated wine, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had the support that I had back home.
Right.
Because, you know, it's really hard having now 2 kids and having a business that grew really fast and that's super demanding. And now I don't just have one staffer that's manning the place. I have multiple staff that, you know, is there and being responsible for so many things. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Really hard. And it takes a toll, not just on me, on my husband, on my kids. Like we're all making a sacrifice.
So back when you were starting that first business and you had just one kid at the time, obviously things were hard there as well. Not as hard now, but still hard, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys manage the relationship?
It was, you know what you say, it really, I don't remember it being hard.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it being hard, but also I think there was a lot that I didn't know that I should have been doing that I wasn't doing, right? I just knew, hey, Seneca and I worked really well in how we handled the business. We still both had our day jobs, and then we would drive up to Chicago to go shop for wholesale inventory. We enjoyed doing that together. We would then come back. We would stock the store. People would come. Like it was fun.
Yeah. And you were with the family too, like with the baby and everything.
Yeah. Well, no, we never took the baby. My mom always had the baby.
She was still a baby.
Yeah, she was a baby. So my mom always had the baby, right? When that happened. And it would always be, you know, maybe when on a weekend when we weren't working, that we would go up and then we would bring inventory back, and it was fun, all this fun inventory, and it was limited inventory because no one wanted to be walking around in the same, you know, type style of stuff. So I don't remember it being hard, but now doing this business and I'm more mature and learned more about business, I understand that it wasn't hard because I wasn't doing a lot of what I was supposed to be doing, right?
Gotcha. In order to grow the business.
In order to grow the business. Gotcha. So it was a lot that just wasn't being taken care of, but also it didn't.
Did you know about it, or
I didn't at the time?
Okay,
no,
gotcha.
I look back now and I'm like, how did I get away with that, or how did no one tell me that? But I also didn't have anyone to really tell me, because although, you know, my family had the business, it still was, they were also learning as they were going. So they couldn't tell me about a jewelry business and they had a barbecue business. It was different.
Yeah, I mean, that's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so it was a lot of learning.
Yeah. And then you moved here. Why the move here?
Yeah, so a couple things happened. My brother passed. Seneca and I went on a cruise and we came back. And that same day that we came back, my brother, both my siblings, I had 2 siblings, and they both were in a tragic car accident.
Oh, no.
And one passed and the other survived.
That's rough.
And it just became, it became a lot. I had lost a couple of family members, you know, maybe like the year prior. And it was just like the grief, right? So I was like, I just want a fresh start, right? And Seneca was like, you know, me too. He had a very good job at the time, as well as I, right? And but I think before we allowed the tragedy and grief to take over our marriage, we were like, maybe we just need a fresh start. And also in that same time frame, we both were products of a school district that was horrible, and we knew there was no way out. We couldn't afford private school at the time, and we had our our oldest daughter. So we were like, okay, we also want to be able to provide a better life for her. So doing a little research, he had a sibling that had lived in North Carolina before, and he had heard a few things about it. But then I started to research and found out that Chapel Hill, it was like ranked like top, you know, school districts in the nation, right?
Okay.
So
that's a big decision.
That was a huge decision,
because a lot of people say, I just need a fresh start, but they never actually go through it.
Yeah. No, I think for for us, it was so overwhelming with everything that we were dealing with. It was like, no, we need to go.
It's almost like you're hitting rock bottom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was such a struggle. It was a struggle with you know, the grief and the just the knowing that my daughter was getting ready to go into this horrible school district, and it was like, you know what, no, let's just go. Like, why not? So we literally stepped out on faith, quit both of our jobs, moved here.
Didn't visit first?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, we didn't visit first.
Wow.
Did we? Yeah, no, I think we did visit one time.
Okay.
I think we visited one time. But we didn't move to where we ended up visiting. We ended up moving to Carborough. We didn't visit Carborough. We visited Durham. So we ended up moving, and neither of us had jobs, right? So I got a job within 3 months of work of being here. It took Seneca about 1.5 years before he found a job. But yeah, but it worked out, and it's still one of the best decisions that we could have made. Like,
yeah, it seems like it.
Hands down. Man.
Right.
So happy.
So were you ever worried at that time though? Like during that transition period, like you just moved here, you don't have a job, stress is kicking in.
No, it's crazy because like, I don't know. And I never really considered myself to be such a like optimistic person. I've always been more of a pessimist and realist. But back then, looking back, I don't remember fear being a part of what I was feeling. And maybe because we did have like a little cushion, right? That we had saved up for before, you know, we actually moved.
That always helps.
We had ended up selling or renting our home out to his brother and his brother's fiance at the time.
Okay.
You know, our home there. And we moved into an apartment so that we can save money.
Sure.
Right. So we rented that out to them and moved into an apartment. So we saved up some money to move here. And then when we got here, you know, there wasn't worry. The only thing, I had never been without my family, and we were a huge tight knit family.
Yeah.
So it was hard, like missing them, and things happened. I had an aunt that passed shortly after we moved here, and I couldn't make it back because I had just started work, and you know, it was just a huge thing. So as far as worry, no, but my heart was so heavy. I miss my family so bad, so bad.
That's
so yeah, that
I've never had that feeling either.
Oh man, it's like
not growing up around family.
Yeah,
like that,
absolutely.
You know?
I mean, I get that now. I see people who didn't grow up with, you know, huge families, and you know, but I don't know. I guess if you and your you know, parents are really tight, it's the equivalent of just being away from them. Like, I miss my mom so much, right? She was such a huge, she and my youngest daughter were best friends. You know what I'm saying? So to take her away from that, it had to be, you know, something greater and something in it. Yeah. So we had to make it work, and you know, we couldn't let that go in vain with taking away the support system that we had and all of that. So
what happened with the business at that point?
Yeah, we had to shut the business down. Yeah, we shut the business down. We moved. All of that. Yeah.
And then you worked here, right, as an employee.
Yeah.
Well, how long after you started another business?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was years. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I worked one job here, and I was there, a clinical trials company. I was there for, you know, all those years.
Is that where you met Sybil?
Yes. Okay. Actually, that's where I met all the friends that I had here, you know, except for one, with the exception of one, but pretty much that's where my core group of friends came from. The three that I had, the three core group friends that I have that you met, definitely that's where they came from.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Was it like, how was it? See, 10 years. I'm trying to think, because like, did that entrepreneurial
I was
fire
itching.
like
I was itching. I was itching.
Yeah.
We ended up, since we came here, we
like from the beginning or like after a while?
Actually from the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, we started a cleaning company. Our name is Modest, or our last name, right? That's Seneca's last name, Modest. So we started a cleaning company called A Modest Touch. Okay. And of course, I always came up with the names of the company. So it's A Modest Touch, right?
Yeah.
I'm just brilliant when it comes to that.
You are.
Thank you. But so we started a cleaning company called A Modest Touch, which we still have to this day. We still have contracts, that we do residential, no residential, commercial. We only do commercial cleaning.
Damn. Okay.
So we started that, and we still do that to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. You know,
I didn't know that.
and it's just something that it's like we're entrepreneurs. Like that's just what we do.
It's very rare to have two people come together and mesh so well with business.
Yeah. I mean, Seneca had a business before I met him, right? He was in music.
Okay.
He had an entire music studio.
Yeah.
Like helping people, like, you know, be music people, you know what I mean? Like
musicians.
Yeah. So,
further their career in the music industry.
Yeah. So, you know, that was just, he and I got together, and I actually read somewhere that like he's a Taurus and I'm a Gemini. Well, I'm on a cusp.
Okay.
So depending on, I'm between Gemini and Cancer, that Gemini and Tauruses make really good business partners. And we're great with business.
It seems like it.
Yeah, we are.
So there's never like a kind of like a rough spot with business between you two?
Oh, now with melanated wine, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that took it to a whole new level.
Oh, that took it to a whole new level. Yeah, with all the others, no, because they were smaller. They were on such a smaller scale. We were able to handle it. We were able to still maintain our personal lives, be in our kids' lives, and do what we wanted outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melanated wine took it to a entirely new level, something that we hadn't. I mean, we thought because we had done 2 businesses before that we kind of like knew what we were doing and, you know, all of that. And it knocked us over. Yeah. Still knocks us over the head every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, and then you got to think like, is that going to stop you or is that going to?
Right. And we can't let it stop us.
Yeah.
Because we are, you know, we literally put everything into melanated wine. So this is our it.
Yeah.
Right. So there is no option but to succeed. Right. To make it great and to give the people what they want.
So do you still have, I mean, you still have this cleaning business, but that's more like kind of on the side type of thing?
On the side. Okay. Yep. It's scheduled. It's on the side. That's kind of like on a rotating thing. You know, yeah.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
What's it called? Income, passive income.
Passive income. Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's nice. one passive income. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, and he and I do that, right? We don't hire anyone to do it. We both do it. So like sometimes, you know, after we've done it so many times where it's like after church on a Sunday, you know, depending on if the day falls where it needs, we'll go clean together, you know, and even as a family, sometimes we'll take the kids and we'll go clean. You get the trash. We'll, you know, so I mean,
teach your kids how to fold the clothes and all that, or fold not clothes, but
because it's commercial. Yeah. It's just trash and vacuuming. And cleaning desks, and that's it. Yeah. So
they're learning a lot right there.
Yeah.
About organizing and discipline.
Yeah. The oldest has learned a lot about that.
Okay.
The youngest still has a lot to learn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, there's always the opposite.
Always. She's the complete.
Right. There you go. So going back a little bit, you had the cleaning business. You had your full-time job.
Yes.
And then you had the cleaning business at the same time. And then melanated wine?
Yeah, melanated wine came much later.
Yeah. So what was the why melanated wine? Why wine?
Yeah, why wine? Okay, so this is the story that not many people get to hear. But Seneca, Seneca went to Duke, right, to get his grad degree. And then part of his degree, he was doing like some film stuff. And he actually did a couple films. One of the films, he was looking for some sponsors for that, you know, wine related. And at the same time, my core group of friends and I were doing a podcast. And he couldn't find any sponsors. And he's like, I don't know how the idea. So the original idea came from Seneca.
Okay.
And I don't know how why he said this, but he's like, you and your friends should like, you know, get a wine. I'm like, I just laughed and chuckled. I'm like, we could barely meet to record episodes of our podcast. And you're talking about us getting a wine and going into business together. Like, if anything, I'm very like, I research, I need to know, you know, all the ins and outs. And I knew immediately that wasn't going to work. Right. Because our podcast was fun. Like, that's just what we do. We would meet up, we would schedule, but to sit down and do some hardcore business, that's on a whole nother level.
Right.
So I was like, no. He mentioned it again. And I'm like, yeah, no. He's like, oh yeah, but you all with the podcast and the wine. And I'm like, yeah, no. So, then, you know, he kind of let that die down and he brought it up again, but like more serious, you know, he's like, I think we should do this then. And I'm like, what? The one thing Seneca, if he mentions something, I don't automatically shut it down, but I'll do some research and I'll try to figure it out. So with the wine thing, it was now a seed that had been planted, right? So it's like,
Yeah. The more you talk about something, eventually something's gonna happen.
right? So it's like, yeah, maybe he got something here. Meanwhile, he's off doing his film stuff, not thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my mind is running, right? So I was just doing some research and trying to figure it out. And I was like, you're right. So he and I started to have conversations about there not being many, people that represent like who we are, right? Women and Black women, right? Or even for him,
Sure.
but it was really just about like women are like the majority consumers, right? About 90% in the wine industry. But yet as ownership, we're less than 1%.
Right.
Less than 1% women, less than 1% Black women or minority women, right? So it's like, hold on.
Yeah.
How can we fit
Change
into
that.
this?
Let's change that a little.
Yeah, you be the change that you want to see. It's not there. So do it, right?
Yep.
So
Did you have that thought process and then you were like, okay, more research?
I had that thought process and then more research, right? Like, but how? We don't have millions of millions, all the money that I think could have to, go into this. And do you have to have a vineyard?
Right. Yeah. That's
right?
what I thought.
Right? Do you have to have like what? How can you do it? So then after, researching and figuring out, okay, you don't have to have a vineyard. There's this term urban winery. And urban just means that you don't own a vineyard and you don't sit on one, but yet you still produce your own wine. It's like, ding, 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 ding. Okay. But at the time, even when we came out with the brand, it still was only going to be an e-commerce brand because I had seen the McBride sisters and I had seen other smaller brands in California, doing it.
Yeah.
But once we opened up and we had decided and we had, did the e-commerce, we were like, no, we want to allow people to come in and taste our wine, right? You're not going to buy a wine online just because, 9 times, sometimes you would
It's
just
like
to
trying on
support.
pants. You gotta try on
Exactly. You got to
pants
try them on, right? So we're like, we want people to taste. And being in Durham, we knew it's Durham is an amazing cultural, just like
Yeah. It's very culture driven.
very culture driven. So we knew Durham was a spot to like do it. So we quickly pivoted to having more of a tasting room and an online or an in-person experience as opposed to that online experience that we had. Once we, opened up, we had crazy online sales, right? But then we had to then draw in that in-person experience to say, hey, we're not just online, we are in person.
Where did the online sales come from?
All over.
Oh, was it because of the story behind it?
I guess just because of the story, right?
Okay.
We have been promoting that this was happening,
Yeah.
right, on social media, and that it was gonna, happen. And then when we finally, we were shipping like the first shipment. I have pictures where I had a couple Duke student employees at the time, or interns, whatever, and we just had so many boxes and we were shipping all over. Literally all over.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know how they heard about us, but they did.
So how'd you get the name?
Yeah.
Miss
So
namer.
yeah, I know, right? I'm so great with names. So the name. So Seneca and I we were sitting down and we were really trying to figure out, and we also have, another business partner. We were sitting down just trying to figure out, we were coming up with so many different names. And I actually came up with like the top 2 names. And we kept saying names. And no, that doesn't hit. No, it doesn't hit. And I was like, what about a taste of melanin? Because we knew we wanted it to be so culture driven. We knew we wanted to have something about, the African American diaspora and, everybody all over the world, all the different, all the different countries that have like, African, whatever. We knew we wanted to reach out and just like have something that represented that.
Embrace your ancestors.
Yes. So we knew melanin was, I don't want to say we knew melanin, but we kept like trying to play with that word.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a taste of melanin, and we were like, ooh, okay.
All right. It's going somewhere.
All right, we're getting somewhere, right? And then eventually I was like, what about melanated wine? What about melanated? And they were like, huh. And I said, melanated wine. And like, from the like reaction, we were like, that's it. That is it right there. That, oh my God, like we all freaked out. We all freaked out. And then it was like, okay, so a taste of melanin can be a collection of wines that we do, right? That'll be a collection that we end up coming up with.
Sure.
But melanated wine is the staple. That's the name. That's it right there.
How long from like the start of the business to when you got the name?
I mean, we were about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, about a year of us. Maybe not necessarily the name for a year, but just getting everything together about a year. But the name, I would say maybe a couple weeks. You know, we were kind of just throwing stuff back and forth. You know, but melanated wines.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
it's good. Now, talk to me about how you got the wine, because we talked about urban wineries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
So of course, my background is not wine, right? I worked for a
only
CRO.
As a hobby.
Only as a hobby, right? I worked for a CRO for all those years, and you know, so we figured out, okay, we have to hire a winemaker because we're not winemakers. Like, I'm not a winemaker. So we ended up with all of the research, figuring out, all right, so there are big wineries that help smaller wineries that you can hire the winemaker to like help you like blend and, you know, crush, and they'll do custom crushes and whatever you want, you know, all of that. We just had to figure out which of those wineries would do that, especially here in North Carolina, because at first we were looking all in California and like all over, and we were like, oh, but that, you know, that's kind of crazy. And it was super expensive. So
I bet.
We were trying to figure it out, and we did a little bit more research and figured out one of the largest, not the, but one of the largest vineyard / wineries here is Richard Childress, the race car driver.
Okay.
So he's right.
Yeah. Anymore, but
yeah. He has a beautiful vineyard up in Lexington. So we were like, okay, how do we reach out to like the winemaker? Like, we need to figure this out. So, I can't remember if I was like in between work or whatever, but I was like calling around to like all the vineyards, just trying to, hey, custom crush this, and couldn't, you know, get through to many people. But then I got through to Mark Frizzlowski. Okay. Mark is amazing. Mark was like, he now said something to me that I say that both Cynic and I say to everybody before they ask something of melanated wine. Have you visited melanated wine? Have you tasted our wine? Like, do you know who we are before you come and ask for anything? Right. We get
That's
people.
important.
Yeah. We get people all the time to ask for like in-kind donations or, you know, whatever. And it's like, but do you know who we are and what we stand for and what our, you know, have you visited to know if this is the right connection? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Because that brings them back.
Right?
Not just a one-time thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So Mark was like, have you? And we were like, no. He's like, well, you need to, you know what we're doing and taste the wine and know, you know, what we bring. And so anyways, long story short, we developed a relationship with Mark, and he explained to us what they could do and how he could, you know, help us as a smaller winery. They do this for so many wineries here, you know, and not just here in North Carolina, but like all over. Yeah. Wow. They help all over. So Mark is the winemaker. He's the mad scientist. But what our process is, I'm considered a wine negociant. Oh. Yeah, wine negociant.
Okay.
I'm negociant.
Oh.
So I'll sit down with Mark and I'm like, okay, say for instance, it's like a Merlot. And I'm like, okay, I want my Merlot to taste like this, right? He'll tell me from a scientific standpoint what we need to do to capture those flavors.
Were you like, I want it to taste like spaghetti with lobster?
I mean, I wanted to go well with spaghetti and lobster, right? And I really didn't know. So it was a lot of like trying to figure out like, well, can I do business. And then one thing you learn in the wine industry, you're always a student. Mark has been in the business for over 40 years. He's still a student though, right? And I think that was something that was truly very, humbling for not just him, myself, a lot of people, but it doesn't matter how many years you have in the wine industry, and he has over 40. He created Hypnotic. He created some other fun drinks, right, that some may know. And it's so funny because when people come to our tasting room and I explain to them about, our winemaker created Hypnotic, and I ask them, have they heard of it? And then some people are like, I'm like, yeah. So you people, that means you've had like an Incredible Hulk. Have you ever had an Incredible Hulk?
No, but I think I've had a Hypnotic.
You've had Hypnotic?
Yeah,
that little blue drink in the funny shaped bottle. It's sparkly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They still sell it in the ABC stores here today.
Yeah. I know I've seen it. I at least seen it.
So in the early 2000s, Hypnotic was in the club scene. You would get what's called an Incredible Hulk. Right. Okay. The Hypnotic is very blue. It's a light blue, almost like a lighter than a Carolina blue. And you would pour it into a cognac and it would turn green. So that's why they called it the Incredible Hulk. And it was very mean. Like you only need one and you were like done for it. Like it was over. So that was the Incredible Hulk. Gotcha. But so Mark created Hypnotic, and he understood. It was an interview process at first, right? We interviewed him and he interviewed us. We needed to make sure that he understood who we are, the brand, and what we were trying to represent. And he did. And we needed to make sure that these two meshed very well.
Interesting. So that was important to him as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It was very important to him as it was to us. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. So it works very well. Yeah. Mark's an amazing winemaker. And I mean, we are, not just I, right. But, behind that, what we want to bring to fruition, the ideas, right. Of what we want certain things to taste like. We wanted our wines very clean, right. No artificial sweeteners, no this, no that.
And that's what he was about.
Yes. Well, that's what he was willing to give us. Right. And he told us what we needed to do to capture that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
with that comes a higher cost. Right.
It does sometimes. Yeah, it does. But what we won't do is pay for the labels to say that it's organic, and we will, because all that is cost as well. I just tell people, take my word for it, taste it. I promise you won't get a headache. It's been proven, tried and true. You won't get a headache. Right. Oh. Some people get headaches from sweet wines, but it's all the artificial and the preservatives. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the first wine that you guys created with him, how was that?
So the first was a collection.
Okay.
4.
So 4 of them.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep,
gotcha.
4. So it was our red blend, which is a Cabernet Franc and a Syrah, the Riesling, the white blend, which is an unoaked Chardonnay with a little Riesling in it, and then a white Sangria. And of course, I always roll my R's when I say sangria. Okay. And I told everyone that comes to our tasting room, it's sangria, not sangria.
Even though you're not Latina. Pero ahora sí. Ahora sí.
Say who? Okay. Sangria. So yeah, it's just about, giving it the respect that it's due.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a sangria.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, those were the original 4.
Gotcha.
And it was fun. We didn't know what we were doing, but we created something really good.
Man. And then like, how do you get the bottles and stuff like that? So he makes it, but then how do you get it?
Yeah, I have to order the bottles, have to figure out what color caps you want on it. We have to get our labels created.
Gotcha.
We have to hire a designer to do our labels and then ship him the labels so that then he can put the labels.
So you have to ship him all the empty bottles and stuff like that, and he puts them in there?
We would have to, but because they do produce for so many other, they just have like a whole warehouse full of bottles, right? So we don't have to. We would have to, but we don't have to.
Gotcha.
If there was a specialty bottle, we would, but they have the bottles and we just purchase them off from them. We tell them which bottles we want, and then they're like, okay, we have these in stock. But if they don't, then yeah, we'll have to purchase the bottles. But we have to purchase everything. We have to tell them what color capsules we want. We have to ship them our labels once we get them created by the designer, and then we have to get them printed up and then ship them. Yeah, So it's a whole thing. it's a whole like whole marketing thing.
And you guys were able to do that because of the money you had stashed away, but also the other business as well.
Well, no, the money by this time, the money we had stashed away was long gone. Right. Long gone.
But yeah, because that was like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At this time, it was cryptocurrency. Seneca, years prior, had sort of gone into crypto. It's his thing. You know, that's what he enjoys doing. And the market at the time was, kind of booming. So we were able to really be funded pretty much all off of crypto. Wow. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Good time.
So, I mean, still to this day, we haven't taken any loans or anything. It's nice. It's us. I mean,
damn.
If you have a couple million though, we'll definitely accept you as an investor.
I'll let you know.
But yeah, it was solely crypto.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then the storefront.
Yeah. Listen.
Why the storefront? Just another place for people to come and like taste, right?
We realized that people not only want to taste, but some people, the repeat customers are like, well, I've had that experience and it's nice. I love it. And I'll bring people back to it, but I want a bottle for the night to go enjoy, right? Yeah. So having that storefront, which we're trying to get more merch in now, right? But having that storefront where people can just stop in and purchase their bottles and go, right? So that was important, and we realized that. So that's why that storefront is there.
Do you know about Kevin Hart's show?
Yeah.
The Peacock one?
Yeah.
Heart to Heart?
Yeah. Where he's sitting down. Does he have, is it a wine or
he has wine.
Yeah, has wine.
But it's only from Black owned.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he had like his own wine.
No, it's from different
What? Kevin Hart needs melanated wine. Yeah. Who doesn't need... What celebrity is crazy enough to not have melanated wine a part of any of their shows, especially if they are only like broadcasting?
And he like announces it. Like, what do we have today? And
I've heard him announce it, but I didn't know that he was specifically like. Yeah. I thought it was his. Okay.
He goes to all the Black owned wine.
I have to invite him. I'm gonna have to like at Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Once this
episode
I'm
airs. Like maybe like 2 degrees away from Kevin Hart. Maybe I could pull something off.
Maybe only 1 degree. I think you can pull something off right now. When this airs.
You know what? Let me get on the phone. Right
Call him. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Anything for melanated wine.
Thank you.
If you need a guy doing a commercial or something like that, let me know.
I do. But yeah.
It seems like the marketing is working pretty well though.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to. Melanated wine grew really fast. It grew really big, really fast. And I say big, right? For us, it is big.
Right.
And for a lot of people, like, whenever we go anywhere, a lot of people recognize us. And recognize the brand, and I've heard of melanated wine. I just haven't, I haven't gotten over there, and I'm like, it's gonna come on over, you'll enjoy the experience. So, with that, it just a lot of responsibility came with, it growing so big so fast, and it's not even close to what we want it to be. Not even close.
Yeah,
we have so many visions and expectations, and
you want to be everywhere.
We're going to be everywhere. Yeah. But the next step is definitely to expand and to expand in Durham, and 2024 you may have that, and just to have the big where you can come on and on campus. I'm talking huge. Whoa, come on site and have your tour. Right, of not necessarily the vineyard. We don't want a vineyard. We're not farmers. We will continue to purchase all. That's what we do. We purchase grapes from all the different vineyards here. Right, have that sent over to Mark if they don't have what we want, and then we crush and bottle. Yeah. So we'll continue to purchase the stock, the crop from all the different vineyards here in North Carolina. We're very specific about not going out of the state and being here. That's really important to us. So we'll continue to do that, but we will have a facility in 2024. I'll just say that we will have a facility in 2024 where you're able to come and have that like tourable experience along with your wine tasting and all that.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna be really huge. Good. It's gonna be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'll be joining.
Man,
I've actually, your place is the only place where I've had like a wine tasting. I've never been to a wine tasting before.
And I think we spoiled you. Have I told you this?
No,
maybe not. I told someone this, but I think if that's the case, then we've spoiled you, because we have the best tasting experience that you'll ever have. I can't say, like, we have delicious wine, but like if you visit like a different country, Italy, somewhere, right, you may get, some really, really good wine. But like, as far as the experience, we're so intentional about the experience and, the presentation and everything that like you won't have a better experience. If you go somewhere else, you may just get like a little cup here. Yeah, let's blah, blah, blah. This is,
Yeah.
It's just that. But we're very intentional about the experience that we provide. So if you go somewhere else, just don't expect to have the experience that you had at Melanated.
I wasn't expecting all of that. What was said to me. I didn't the whole backstory on each one. And stuff.
Did you have the elevated? It came in a 2-tier cart.
No.
So you just had the standard. You just had the standard. Okay. Which that's cool as well, right? That's awesome. But that's kind of like just regular schmegular. Like the elevated that comes with the charcuterie that's on the 2-tier cart is what really people are like, oh my God, everyone's snapping photos and doing the whole thing. But both of them come with the same explanation. So
right. Because I think. It was good. It was good either way.
Thank you.
It was so good.
I appreciate that.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't bring anyone.
I was about to.
We could have put it like right here.
I know. I was about to, but I'm like, should I or shouldn't I? I'm sorry. Yeah.
If there's ever a question, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. You're right.
That's the thing about life. If there's an or there, just put an and.
Just and. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I did think about it and I just didn't. But yeah.
It's all good. No worries.
But anybody watching this episode can always come on over to Melanated Wine.
Come on down to Melanated Wine.
Okay. Put it in your Google Maps. It'll bring you right to us.
There you go. How's the family with everything? Because this is like a huge step for you guys in your career.
Yeah.
And you're balancing. You got to balance everything.
You have to balance.
How's that going?
My girls, they are trying to be as understanding as they possibly can be. Mm-hmm. We're very intentional now about making sure that they don't miss out on anything because we're too busy. So if they have birthdays, friends' birthdays, or they're invited to something, we will go through hell and high water to make sure, right, that they can get there and do that. 95% of the time. There may be a small percentage where it's like, we're too busy, you can't.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we try to make sure that they still maintain their sense of normalcy as much as they can. They get, a lot of like either teachers at their schools that know that their mom and dad has this business and they'll mention stuff to them. Mm-hmm. My youngest, oh my God, she's a heavy promoter from Melanated Wine in the first grade.
Is she like promoting it to all their students or classmates?
Teachers. She's telling everyone, my mom, has this business and it's wine and
it's really good. I was like, wait, whoa.
Like, like seriously, like she's drinking out of wine glasses. Now, granted, it's just water, but this is, but that's also something that, that's a nonprofit that to kind of jump in, that it's a nonprofit that we're wanting to start. We're almost there, where we want to teach not people as young as her, but like college age students how to have a healthy relationship with alcohol, because for a lot of people, a large percentage, that's your first kind of experience, and it's a horrible experience because you're just going to like maybe these frat parties or whatever, and you're just drinking and don't understand what your limit is and how to really, really put up those boundaries or behave yourself. So there's a nonprofit that we are going to start that kind of teaches young adults or kids, however, you want to say it, how to have those healthy relationships around alcohol. And I think if you start having those conversations earlier and instead of making them so forbidden, kids won't be so eager to try to like jump all the way in because it's always been forbidden. I want to try this. But it's like, I've heard about this And because of, maybe my weight or what I'm drinking or the percentage, let me just see how I feel by just kind of like,
easing into it.
Yeah, easing into it. And of course, you're always encouraging don't drink until you're 21, right?
Sure.
Because that's, here, but just kids are going to start it earlier, right?
Yeah,
so we're just wanting to get that knowledge out there at that time where they may be starting, right? Before they start, you want to be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, true.
So that's a nonprofit that we're going to be
cool.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking back to like when I started drinking, and I was drinking heavy in high school.
Yeah,
like
same
freshman
as
year.
Me too.
Like, I was drinking and smoking and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then luckily, I listened to, I don't know, my gut, my ancestors, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And was like one day I just woke up and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so then I just stopped drinking.
Yeah.
But before that, like I could see myself like I could have been an alcoholic easily. And because it was something that I wasn't comfortable unless I was drinking, especially in social settings.
Yeah.
It's like I was very quiet and stuff like that. And then when I drank, I was like, woohoo,
you were the turn. Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely understand that. I was given my first drink at 16. Right. For my 16th birthday.
There you go.
And I remember it till this day. It was Verdi. Do you remember Verdi? Do you know what Verdi? It's like this cheap sparkling like drink.
No. I was drinking more like liquor, like Aristocrat vodka.
Oh,
it was horrible.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've never. Yeah.
Bottom shelf.
Shortly after I did start drinking, hard stuff, but I think for me growing up around such addictive, family members, that was something like I don't know, like my body literally will tell me when to stop. I can't go overboard. I can't, and I drink a lot. Like I have a high tolerance. I say I drink a lot. I not like that, but I have a high tolerance, like making and producing wine with our wine maker. Like we're tasting a lot of wine and we're always kind of, so having a tolerance, a pretty nice tolerance is kind of necessary. But, I enjoy drinking wine and, I have a healthy relationship with alcohol.
Did you have to learn that because of your mom?
I don't.
Like, because like people sometimes would say like, oh, my mom was an addict, so I never drank until late 20s or something.
Yeah, no. I didn't it wasn't, it was a thought. It was never a thought to, I don't want to overindulge because of that. I feel like it was just in me to not, right? Okay. It was just like, no. I just never wanted to. And the few times where I did overindulge, it was probably because I didn't eat or I drank too fast. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. And I became inebriated. And but that's been so few times. But now I pace myself and my body will just say, yep, you're done because you're not gonna, I don't like to get to that next level. It doesn't feel good.
Is that something that you've always known about yourself?
For as far as I can remember, really? That's just been something where it's like I don't over indulge. It doesn't feel good and my body just won't let me go there.
That's good.
Now again, there has been times where if I don't eat and I drink maybe too fast, something too sweet too fast, right? Mixed drinks. I'm a mixed cocktail girl. So if I have too many sweet cocktails too soon, it's like, ooh, you overdid it. And you didn't mean to, But for the most part, I can't overindulge.
Yeah. It seems like you have a good body awareness.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
Which is something I feel like everybody needs to learn how to do.
Man, and I don't know how to teach that, but I do.
Body awareness.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to be something that connects the mind with the body.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like I used to be a professional actor. And so when I did this acting technique called Lee Strasberg technique, we would sit down in a chair and we would pay attention to where we're holding tension in our body. And then we would move it so slowly while releasing it through a sound.
Show me. Can you show me?
Okay.
Because I'm like always tense,
it's like if the tension's in my shoulder, I'm like, and just releasing it through the sound. And then the tension moves somewhere else. So then you move that part of your body as you're releasing it through a sound. You're moving it and releasing it through a sound.
Interesting.
And so with that built up such a body awareness that I was so sensitive to things.
Got it. So whenever you would tense up, you
Yeah,
would,
I'd be like,
yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
let me kind of release that.
Which is important.
Yeah.
If you're an actor, because you're on set, you got to be relaxed.
Yeah. Just in life too, right? Like
Life too.
you want to learn how those techniques on how
Mm-hmm.
to relax yourself if you're walking into a tense environment or a room that, is unfamiliar and you're not, sure what to expect or whatever. So
Yeah. Do you have any like rituals before you go into like big business meetings or something?
rituals, let's see. I definitely I have anxiety, right? And I'm super ADD. Not many people know.
Me too.
So, oh my God. So
Now everybody's gonna know.
I know, right? I'm super ADD. I wasn't diagnosed until my adulthood. My brother suffered all childhood, with it. But for me, it was my adulthood that I was like, oh, that's why, that's why it was such a struggle, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the diagnosis didn't come until, later in life. But as far as rituals, I try breathing techniques.
That's good.
I try to, I'm always listening to, something motivational. So it's really just, you are enough. You are, and being aware of like what I'm doing and how, just trying not to be tense. And it's a lot. It's all meant like I'm literally just doing it all up here, trying to be aware of what I'm doing, how I'm coming off, and but you're being either defensive or you're being this or you're being, and trying to counteract that. So it's a lot of things that I've learned that I'm always trying to like, okay, let me use this tool to help ease me with that,
A lot of it is breathing.
It's
amazing.
Yeah.
You do like the box breathing.
No, what is the
what it's
box
called.
breathing?
It's like 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out.
Not necessarily. No,
Sorry, 5 in, hold 5, release 5. So it's like a box.
I think I may be doing it without calling it that, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
So it's like just trying. I'm breathing in and I'll breathe out, and it's like okay. And then I just try to realize, like, ask myself, but why are you so nervous? Like, what is it? Right? Let's get to the core of it. Do you think you're not? Like, what is it?
Are you not good enough?
Yeah.
Like, are you telling yourself that?
Are you right? So it's always. So I'm trying to always be aware and make sure that I can find a tool to combat whatever's happening. So yeah.
What about like meditations or hypnosis?
Oh my God. So meditation, not as much. Hypnosis, I want to. I haven't dived into like self hypnosis or anything, but that is something I am like, just wanting to do so bad, so bad. Like there's so much work, spiritual work that I am like so eager and anxious to like dive into that. For the past, I can say maybe about a year, I've sort of dived into that's really helped me, and it's just the awareness for me. It's just the awareness and being conscious of the subconscious, being
well, that's what hypnosis trains, is the subconscious,
right, and just being aware of those thoughts, and it's just it's so much. So that's a huge part of what I am experiencing and learning more about and falling in love with. And man,
that's great.
I could talk about
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I do hypnosis. So I actually have a hypnosis specifically. It's a sales hypnosis. So like close the sale, that kind of hypnosis.
Really?
But I use it.
This is a self hypnosis?
Yeah.
Really? That's cool.
But it's not, I don't only use it for like business deals or business meetings, but I also use it for like going out and socially, like making myself, I'm like, I feel good afterwards.
Oh my
God.
Because listen, it's so funny because a few nights ago, a friend of mine was like, but I'm socially awkward. She was saying this about herself. And I'm like, but you're not, right? Like she's the sunshine, the joy, like we all kind of look to. And for her to say that she's socially awkward, but there are these things that she definitely like, that she does to try to, combat that. And when you say that, I'm like, I know in settings, like I'm naturally an introvert and a selective extrovert, right?
Same.
I need to, whatever this is, I'm so intrigued that I want to learn this because I want to be able to go in certain social settings where I'm able to use whatever it is that you're saying
Sure.
and be my best self. Because when I am on, honey, I am on.
Yeah.
But when I'm off,
Oof.
ugh,
It's rough. Don't
it's
talk to me.
it's rough.
Don't even look at
It's
me.
rough. So, you know, and I often don't, this is funny. Like I often don't look at people when I'm talking. Like that's something. And I don't know who notices it and who doesn't, but I talk and I'm not necessarily like looking at you.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to practice more doing, like looking at you and talking. But I talk and I'm like all over, looking all everywhere else except for you.
It could also help you be more engaged with that person as well.
It could. It definitely could. But I also, because I'm so aware of your facial expressions, so if you give me the slightest, I'm like, oh, okay. So I picked up on that.
Yeah.
So maybe I should, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm also an overthinker. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me just not look and let me just do me.
Right. I know what I want to say. Just
exactly.
hear me out.
I'm just going to, and I'll look at you after. But so that's
interesting.
I like talking about that. That's fun. I've never really talked about that. So.
Well, I can send you that one, the sales one, if you want.
Yeah.
I use it not all the time, but when I know I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to social
I like
settings.
that. I like that. I could definitely use that and crush it. Now I can.
I feel like you have to have a lot of patience with everything that you're doing between family, businesses.
Patience and discipline, and those are the two hardest things for me.
Patience and
I'm not a patient person, and I'm not disciplined. I've always wanted to go to the military.
Wow, you're the first person. Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, always. And because I've out-aged, now I can't go. But I've always wanted to go to the military.
Right.
Because I lacked such discipline. And I'm a very impatient person.
Same here.
Really?
Yeah. I almost joined the Marines.
Man, you were gonna go hardcore.
Well, I think you have this kind of thing too, where like if you're gonna do something, you go all in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you have to.
Yeah.
There was a certain time where it was like, okay, so I can't just, because I have two girls and at the age and I'm married now. Okay, so I can't just like go full blown into the army, so let me just do the reserve, where it's just some, a couple times a month,
Yeah.
But then the time was ticking. I talked to a couple of recruiters and the time was ticking. And then for the amount of time that I was going to be away, my daughter was too young. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
So the decisions, especially when you have kids and, they, because I started having children young, I'll have a long life after, they're out the house and gone on to college and, all that. Granted, the military will be well behind me, but there are other things that I can do to tap into that, discipline.
They do have like, I don't know if you want to do this.
What an elderly what? What do they have?
Not when they're off to college or anything, but like they do have us a ladybug. They have a Navy SEAL training weekend if you wanted to do that.
And you could do that like after a certain age?
As a citizen. Citizen, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Citizen? Yeah,
Or,
that's the word.
It is. Yes.
I'm like having a brain fart. I don't know.
Yeah.
A civilian.
A civilian.
That's what it is.
Thank you. I'm like, yeah. Okay, civilian. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I was thinking about doing that too, but I never said it.
Let's plan it. Let's plan it together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll send you a video first. Then
Okay. Yeah. Let me research it first.
See, this is the discipline.
Let's see. I know, right? But yeah.
But that's something that I liked as well, is discipline, and that's something that it doesn't come naturally to me. I think it's because the way I grew up, and is something that I constantly have to work at.
Yeah, you have to be more intentional about it because it doesn't come natural.
Yeah.
So having to put up those guardrails or boundaries in your life to where it's like, I have to be disciplined in this area. I have to do this. Yeah.
And sometimes I slip up, but I know for a fact that I'm always hopping back on the train.
Yeah, absolutely. You're aware, right?
Yeah, aware.
Yeah,
awareness.
you're aware of it.
That's
It's the awareness, right?
Yeah. And especially like having social settings. That doesn't come being social doesn't come naturally to me. That's something I had to learn as like a young adult.
Yeah.
And so I have to constantly work at it too.
Yeah.
So that's why this really helps.
Yeah.
Because like, it gets me back into the
Yeah.
talking.
I can see that. I like that. Yeah. Melanated wine definitely did that for me. It pulled me out of, my
Little
shell.
shell.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So now it's like, it's so funny because people will come in and they're like, oh, that's the owner. Oh, and then I have to, okay. Hi, I give that big, and it feels good. It does. It doesn't feel like fake or anything. It feels good when I do it, but it's so draining now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Well, they say like if you invite an introvert to a social setting, the first answer they're going to give you is no, even without even thinking about it. So it's like one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely interesting that melanated wine has come into my life, and I think it serves so many other purposes outside of what we're bringing to the industry or to whatever.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
Yeah, it's helped me develop personally in so many areas of my life. Yeah.
Has it improved your relationship too with Seneca?
It has improved my relationship with Seneca in a way to where I was 22 when Seneca and I got married. So of course you evolve over time. Yeah. So I'm very vocal. But it's also I'm very vocal because I know what I want. And I know what my expectations are. Before, for years, Seneca would be like, but what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to identify, to communicate. So it has helped in a sense of now I know and I can communicate that. Yeah. So it has helped in that. Yeah. Aspect. Your articulation. I can articulate my feelings and Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. And that's huge.
Yeah, that's very huge.
Because that was a problem. Yeah. I didn't know. I just knew I was feeling something, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I just know that
That's why people get into fights because they don't know how to articulate.
Yeah. So I probably over articulate sometimes, but no, I'm able to. Got it. I'm able to identify and articulate what I'm feeling and what I want. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I am excited about the future for you guys.
Thank you.
Very excited.
The future is very, very bright for melanated wine and the community that supports in so many ways. It's bright.
Looking forward to the nonprofit as well.
Yeah, I am too. I really am. And I hope even if people, I know it's going to be great. This is one of those things, even for melanated wine and all the struggles. It's something so crazy because I know in 2024, and I've been saying this literally probably all of 2023, in 2024, melanated wine is going to be so great. We're going to, and not to talk about money, because that's sort of taboo, but we're going to be millionaires. And it's, and people are just really going to be enjoying it. It's just going to be great. I don't know how we're going to get there to that point, but I know it's going to happen. Right. So
the how doesn't matter.
The how doesn't matter, right? It's just, I know it's there. And I say this to people and they're like, but, they kind of look at me and I'm like, if you don't understand it, it's not meant for you to understand, but this is what's going to happen and it's going to be great.
As long as you have a positive mindset and you have action being taken, then you're golden.
That's it. So I'm excited and thank you. Thank you for being excited for us as well and having us, on your show.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I got to get back up there and buy some wine.
Come by. We also local deliver. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we ship all over. We local deliver, So, yeah. Okay. You don't always have to take a trip.
Right. It'd be nice to do that.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see you all.
But that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone where they could find you?
Yeah. So, melanated wine, you could either find us on our website at www.melanatedwine.com. That's melanatedwine.com. We are also located in South Durham, about 5 to 7 minutes from South Point Mall at 4608 Industry Lane, Suite F. You'll see it when you sort of pull in. We're a couple doors down from Sharp 9 Jazz Gallery, but we're over there and you can purchase our wine and online and also in store. And come in for your tasting experience. So
Ooh. Damn. Yeah. Next time, I'll have Seneca on, and then maybe he could bring like a tray of samples.
Ooh,
that'd be fun.
We should have. darn it.
Yeah, we should
See,
find this out.
he's more he's definitely like, he would have thought of all that. I'm like, yeah. But
We're just talking.
we're just talking. So yeah, but yeah, he would have brought all that. But yeah.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Great.